No report should be considered complete without those finishing touches that make it a polished document. Things such as page numbers, date and timestamps, and logos help present a professional-looking report. In this movie, we're going to finish up our lifetime sales report by adding these elements. Over here in the navigation pane, let's go ahead and open up our customer lifetime sales report that we've been working on. Now what I want to do is add some titles up here to the top. I also like to see some page numbers and a time and date stamp. So let's go ahead and add all of those features. I'll switch my view into Design View. Now adding date and timestamps and page numbers is nothing more than adding an unbound text box with a calculated control source. Exactly the same as what we added in the last movie. We could add them manually and type in the expressions if we knew the proper syntax, but these finishing elements are so common that Access already has buttons specifically for them built right into the ribbon over here. Let's go ahead and first click on page numbers. We'll get a little dialog box asking us how we want to format our page number. We can either indicate just the number of the page that we're on, or the number of the page we're on out of how many pages are in the total report. I'm going to click on this option here. We can also specify whether we want to place it in the top of the page or the header, or the bottom of the page in the footer. Let's go ahead and choose bottom of the page. Finally, we can center it, left align, right align, or put on the inside or outside pages if we're doing multiple pages. I'm just going to leave it to center here. Let's go ahead and say OK, and Access adds in the formula here to calculate page numbers right into the page footer. Let's go ahead and add in a date and timestamp. I'll use this button up here on the ribbon. Again, we get a little window here, and we get to fill in some options. We can either include a date here, or a time, or both. I'm going to turn off time. We can also format our date here. We have the full long date, or we have some shorter versions as well. I'm going to leave it as a long date here. Now this doesn't give us the option of where to put it like we saw with the page numbers. If I say OK, it's just going to put it up here in the report header section. Let's go ahead and close the property sheet to see that. If we want, we can actually move it out of the report header. Let's go ahead and just click on it to select it. I'll press Ctrl X to cut it out, and I'll come down here into the page footer and click, and then press Ctrl V to paste it there. Now I'm just going to use the arrow keys to move it over to the far right. Now when I add it, it comes in with actually a blue color for the font. So what I want to do is select it, and then go ahead and go over here to the Format tab, and change its font color here from blue. I'm going to make it black. Now when we added in this date range over here, it actually added in a few other boxes. They look a little bit hidden. You can click here and see that they're there. So I'm actually going to click here and delete those other boxes that came in. And I think there's another one here, and that looks like that's all of them. Now we can go up here to the Design tab, and we can look at adding a logo and a title. Let's go ahead and click on Logo. I get an Insert Picture dialog box where I can browse out to my desktop and go into the exercise files and into Chapter 5, where I'll find this Kinetico logo transparent background. Go ahead and say OK, and that adds the logo up here. Let's go ahead and add a title. I'll click on Title, and it adds a title in as well. I can click here at the beginning and rename it if I'd like. Let's go ahead and call it Lifetime Sales by State. If I want, I can resize things a little bit. I'm just going to drag this down here, and I'm going to make this a bold font instead. I'll click on it, go up to the Format tab, and press Bold. Now I can drag this down and make it a little bit bigger here. I'll click on my icon, and I'm going to drag the corner to make my logo bigger. We're not using this page header section here, so I can click here at the top of the state name header and drag it up to collapse it. And we're also not using the report footer. So let me scroll down here, and I can collapse that as well. Okay, let's go ahead and save our changes. I'll press Save on the Quick Access toolbar, switch over to the Home tab, and we'll take a look at this in Print Preview mode. And there is our finished report. It's got some nice titles and a logo here at the top. We have some colored bars that indicate when we're changing states. We have the customer ID and the names and the lifetime sales for each customer. We have some conditional formatting for the top 100 customers, as well as conditional formatting to highlight everybody that spent less than $100. And we have some calculated values to tell us how many customers there are in each state, as well as how much each state has contributed to our bottom line. Finally, we'll switch to another state here for Alaska. And at the very bottom, we should find our page numbers here. So there's 27 pages in this report, and we can see exactly when the report was created. Now that the report is finished, we can send it to the printer, save it as a PDF, email it out, or simply save it in our database. Every time we open it, it'll fetch the current snapshot of our business, updating each customer's spend, reevaluating the conditional formatting in top 100 customers, and give us an up-to-date information in a presentation-ready format.